Now, the hearing of a case over the abduction and disappearance of 6 men in December last year currently underway before Justice Bahati Mwamuye. The case that was filed by Law Society of Kenya had applied for habeas corpus seeking to have Billy Mwangi, Bernard Kavuli, Peter Muteti, Gideon Kibet, Ronnie Kiplagat and Stephen Kavindo produced in court. The 5 were freed, but Kavingo is still missing alongside Kelvin Muthoni, whose name was added to the petition after amendment. Police IG Douglas Kanja and DCI boss Mohammed Amin have defied court orders from Justice Mwamuye to come and explain where Kavingo and Muthoni are, as well as explain circumstances under which the others were abducted and freed. Our reporter Fred Kagonye followed up those proceedings and now joins us live. Kagonye, good afternoon. Bring us to speed on the latest.
Thank you very much, Grace. We are coming to you live from the Milimani High Court, where we've just taken a break from the court proceedings of a case that was filed by the Law Society of Kenya, but of course has other interested parties as well, in regard to 5 to 6 men actually who were abducted in December. 5 of those men were freed, but 1 man, Stephen Kavingo BC, is still missing. And then the LSK early this year amended the petition and added a second name, that is the name of Kevin Muthoni. The 5 men who were abducted and then freed were Peter Muteti, Bernard Kavuli, Billy Mwangi, Gideon Kibet, alias Kibet Bull, and his brother Ronnie Kiplagat. And it will be remembered that Justice Bahati Mwamuye has given several orders in regard to the Inspector General of Police, that is Douglas Kanja, and the Director of Criminal Investigations, Mr. Mohammed Amin, to make an appearance before him and to come and give an explanation where Steve Kavingo BC and Kevin Muthoni are, and also the circumstances under which the other 5 men were abducted and then freed. To help us break down whatever was happening in court today is lawyer Shadrach Wamboi, who's Bernard Kavuli's lawyer. Yes. So for starters, your client, do you mind telling us what your client went through and the circumstances under which he was abducted and then he was also freed?
Well, my client was abducted on the 22nd day of December 2024, at Ngong at Ruby's petrol station. So when he was abducted then, he was bundled up in a Pro Box with very irregular registration numbers, some of which, the registration number of that Pro Box vehicle, we've since identified belongs to a Land Rover. So when he was taken in, he was taken to a certain undisclosed area where he stayed for a period of about 5 days. During this period of time, he was subjected to brutality. This is an assault. He was beaten up. He was actually stripped of his clothes, left without food. And during this period of time also, he was assaulted by his abductors. Thereafter, he was taken from that spot to another location where there were about 30 other people, confined in this undisclosed area. And upon inquiry, of course, he was informed that he was he was then detained at a place they made reference to as the Mount Kenya Discipline Academy. So the real essence of him being detained there, as he was informed, was to ensure that he does not speak against the ills of the government. He does not speak against the current regime or dispensation. And for that reason, he was brutalized for a period again of about 11 days. Because his period of detention, was between the 22nd day of December all the way extending to the 6th day of January when he was released by his abductors. So for that reason, his abductors were firm with their instructions that they were trying to instill some manners in him because of his stance against the current regime. So we are here today purposely for us to just demonstrate to the court that prima facie, when you look at the affidavits that we have filed, that of the Bernard Kavuli and others, that we have created a case to demonstrate that indeed there is a pattern to demonstrate that it is the government that is responsible for the abductions, and they are indeed responsible for the continued disappearance or forceful detention of, number 1, Stephen Kavingo, and number 2, Mr. Kevin Muthoni. So once we have established that indeed it is the government that is responsible for the said abductions, then we expect that the court is going to issue orders to compel the Inspector General of Police to attend here the court proceedings in person so that he can explain as the duty bearer, as the person who has taken the oath and the person who is drawing salaries, so that he can ensure the safety of all Kenyans, that he should come here and explain to court the whereabouts of these two citizens.
You've actually gone ahead of me in regard to the orders compelling the IG and the DCI boss, but we've seen a spirited fight being put up by the respondents in regard to those orders. Why is it important for the IG and for the DCI boss to come to court and actually give an explanation of where those people are and the ones who were abducted, where they were being held?
Well, these are state officers. The DCI, the Inspector General of Police are state officers. In fact, the IG enjoys some security of tenure. The IG is independent as far as our constitution is concerned. So this IG, the Inspector General of Police, he took an oath of office to, number one, when you want to, to look at Article 245 of the Constitution, he has like 3 responsibilities, which he cannot be controlled. Number one, he has the responsibility of enforcing the law and order. And number 2, he has the responsibility of independently conducting investigations. And thirdly, he has the responsibility, the sole mandate of, making the recruitment of employing people to work in the National Police Service. So because of these responsibilities are individual to the Inspector General of Police. And in as much as there are some, the power is delegated to other police officers, our brothers and sisters who are serving in the National Police Service, in as much as it is delegated to them, the person against whom the buck stops is the Inspector General of Police. And that is why you will hear that there is a command theory that we are pushing before this honorable court, that even while we demonstrate that there are indeed police officers that conducted the abductions, that it is the responsibility of the Inspector General of Police to ensure the safety of all persons. And he cannot now, claim ignorance, that he does not know where these people are. So the parents and, Kenyans at large out there are keen on finding out from the person again on whom the responsibility rests to tell us where Stephen Kivingo is and Mr. Kelvin Mudhoni is. That is why we want him here, as the person who bears the ultimate responsibility. Yes.
Well, there you have it, Grace. That has been Shadrach Wambui trying to break down whatever has been happening in court since morning. The court has taken a break. We'll be back at 2:30, where Justice Wambui will continue to hear the applicant's side, and the ones who have filed this petition will continue to hear their sides. And then he said that on Friday he will be listening to what the respondents have to say in regard to what has been tabled before this court by the applicants. And then the applicants will also have a chance to do a rejoinder. But here from here at the Milimani, back to you in studio, Chris.
Right. Thank you, Kagonye, there for bringing us to speed on what happens in the court this morning in regards to the abduction puzzle or matrix that continue to be complicated as no one seems to take responsibility. Well, we are now going to take a very short commercial break, but when we come back, let's find out what's happening at the DAP Kenya party. Don't go too far.